Hello, hi, and welcome to a new episode of the Plumbers of Data Science podcast. So it's one of the first new episode since forever, ever. So in this podcast, I'm going to talk a bit about the academy, the currently free course. I'm going to make that, but I'm going to create that into a paid course. Right now it's free. Because I created for the academy, I create a big overview of like what is data engineering and how does it work, who is a data engineer. So I create that, and I want to start this podcast a bit differently. Anush says hi, welcome. I want to do this. I want to try the podcast a bit differently. Like I felt like the last times, whenever I go live, I'm in a lot of hurry. Like I need to go through a topic very, very quickly, and boom, 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 and like I'm like always feeling on the hunt that something is hunting me. So I'm going to try to take my time. I'm going to try to take my time and answer your comments. Hi, Gabriela. Great to have you here. So, yeah, I'm going to try to do these podcasts more often. I have, like regularly. Usually, when you think about it, like when I planned, okay, I want to do more podcasts. I want to do more live streams. I was thinking about, okay, when can I squeeze them into my schedule, and I think it's a good thing. It's something we all have. We all like have something where we say, okay, we need to we need to do this. We would like to do this, but we don't have any time. Like we never have any time, and it's like always the same. Hi, chef. Yeah, thanks for looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this one as well. So it's like I'm guessing you have the same thing. Like I would love to do this, but I never have time. And so I thought to myself, okay, is this just an excuse, like some other things, like half an hour a day? I'm thinking half an hour a day. We have the time. Most of us have time for like half an hour a day. If I wouldn't sit here, I wouldn't sit on. I would sit on the couch and watch some stupid thing on YouTube to wind down. But do we really need to do that? When you think about it, you spend a lot of time throughout the day, like saying you don't have time, but you actually have some time. So I'm trying to take my time, and I'm going to try to also in the future to do this regularly and get in the schedule. Yeah, you're welcome, Gabriella. I think it's something I need to work on, and a lot of other people need to work on. It's for me. I want to get into a rhythm. Tomorrow already, I have coaching at my 6 a.m. and then at 10 p.m. So I might not get something in tomorrow, but that's like okay. It's okay. Yeah. So I have. Let's dive into the topic a bit. What I have in our data engineering academy at Team Data Science, I've been working on that the whole last year. Like I started this last year, and I started with the coaching. The first idea was, okay, I want to help people, and how can I help people? The thing is, like there are a ton of courses out there, and what can I bring to this whole thing? And from I know I have a lot of experience. I wasn't the most experienced guy in creating courses, and there's also a lot of like competition within the course world, and I didn't want to like compete there. I wanted to use my strength and get into the coaching. So last year I started with that, and I'm doing this now regularly every month. I'm taking new coaching students, and I think that was like how this started last year, basically from zero. And then in July I added the academy, because from what I have learned within the coaching, I trickled that down, or I how do you say this? I took the essence and I started creating a big course out of it. And so that's what I'm currently most of the time working on. It's like I'm working on the academy. The coaching is like that's on the roll. Like I have the coaching, the schedule, and I'm doing the seminar in the beginning. Maybe I'm tweaking the seminar for this time, but like that's on that's completely done, and I'm working on the academy, bringing new stuff into the academy. So it's always like, what do you bring into the academy? I started doing this in July. Right now we have over 100 active subscribers in the academy, and I can show you this. Oops, wrong screen. So basically, when you go on the site on my site, Team Data Science, I have the coaching, I have the academy, and you can go in the academy. And right now I have the free course where I'm going to talk about 20 hours of content right now. And like I'm doing this as the big course that is like the main thing for the main steps. And then I have the mini courses, and I'm creating basically mini courses to help you, guide you through this whole thing. And yeah, so that's basically what I'm working on. Oh, here, Dragonfly, hi. Man, it's been a long time. Dragonfly is one of the original watchers of the stream when I did like 2 days a week. Very cool to have you here. Hi. Yeah, been a while, been really a while. So end of last year I started like thinking about, okay, what could be a free course that I could add to all of this. Like I have the data engineering cookbook that's as a PDF or on GitHub. Should I add a free course? And I added a free course last year, and it was this one here. It was the data engineering fundamentals course, where I basically go over all the topics that you need, that I think are the basis for a data engineer: software development, relational databases, computer networking, Linux, and a bit of REST API stuff. So I made this free. It was okay. I had so we had a lot of visitors, and like I started in December. I added the free course, and I like told people about it, and we had like 48,000 page views in December. Keep in mind we were starting with 0 in January, so this really helped. But at the end, I'm running a business, so it didn't really make any conversions. So as a businessman, you're always in this, okay, what's going on, what's going wrong? Like it should actually help people, because I know the content in the academy is great, and I know, like, if I have 20 hours of video content and so on in there with worksheets and AWS, full the AWS example, so I know the content is good. I knew something, like, what went wrong? Like the actual sales went down. Then I thought, okay, maybe it's like the course is too complicated. People like look at the course and they, oh my god, that's too complicated. That's so much to learn, like, which it isn't, but it was like, woof. So I thought, I'm going to create a different course. Like I'm going to stop that, make that private again. I create a introduction course, and I added the introduction course. It's like this one. I'm going to show it to you. Tomorrow morning I'm going to take it away again because like this thing, I'm having the feeling like people look at it, but they're not like, it's, I don't know, it's like with the free stuff, it's from a business point of view, it's like it's better to have like what I have for the cookbook. It helps a lot of people, but like it's always you're investing. The new free course is an hour and 15 minutes of videos, and it takes me like 10 times as much to actually prepare everything and make the slides and think what I'm going to talk about and go through it and edit it and upload it. And so it's like, so but I'm going to bring it back in regular intervals. I'm going to open it up again for a few days, and then I'm going to take it away again. I think that's the way to go. It sounds like shitty, I know, but it's like at the end, it's not. I'm not running a welfare operation here, so yeah. Here another one, another previous regular 2020 Goro. It should be 2021 Goro, right? Yeah, it's been a while. Great to have you here. Very cool. Seeing the old YouTube faces, it's cool. Like with the new software that I'm using, I can stream to YouTube and I can stream to LinkedIn. It's very very cool, and a lot of comments come from both. So if you're wondering and if you don't see the comments on your platform, it's because I'm reading them either from the other platform. It's cool to see that everything works. Yeah. So here's a great question. I want to pass AWS Solution Architect Associate certification. Is it worth it for data engineering role? It's always like, man, with the certifications, certifications is always hard. It's like, what are you using them for? A certification alone isn't enough. Like you need a rounded off profile, like with software development and collaboration, and it's not like you do a certification and that's it, you can get a role. But like if you want to use them as like getting a lot of knowledge in quickly, and maybe some jobs require this, if they have it in their description, it might help you, but it's not like it's not like 100% that you have the certification, you're going to get that job. But if you use certifications right, or if you use courses right, like specific courses for AWS, for Spark, or whatever, it's really really cool. Like I in the academy, for instance, I did a Spark course, and I created the Spark course specifically for beginners, like how to get in Spark, where I explain everything from top to bottom, like how it works and why would you use it, and made a easy to get into tutorial with coding and setup of a development environment and so on. And if you use stuff like this as a beginner, it's very cool to actually get started quickly. But then at some point you need to ask yourself, okay, why am I now doing the certification? Do I just want the certificate, or do I want to learn more? Do I need to learn more? So that's like, so if you pass it, or if it's worth it, it totally depends on what you're looking for. Just passing it, that you have like the paper that says you passed the job, it doesn't really say if you're really good. Brolio, thank you for everything you do. So I'm currently I'm guessing a data analyst 2 DA2 data analyst for a company that doesn't want to give me a data engineering title, when all the work is when all the work you do is data engineering. That's okay. Yeah, that's. Let me quickly fix something with the camera. The camera is quite annoying. Camera properties, because the autofocus is configure. I don't want any autofocus. Yes, so that's gone. So sorry about that. I should have done this before the stream. So yes, it could be that, but it's just a title. Like, one thing that is important is that you have the knowledge, that you learn, or that you document what you do. And I would first off, I would start putting this information out on your LinkedIn profile, like the tools you're working with, the stuff you do. Not like document exactly what you're doing at the company, because this could lead into problems. But like going into, okay, I worked with this, I worked with that. Maybe do an example project, because you're in the coding, and most of the stuff you can set up on your own. Like, just do a a project or something. Write about it. And then when you apply to, for instance, data engineer jobs, I would very aggressively tell them, I have been working as a data engineer for the past 2 years or something, but I didn't get the company wouldn't give me the title data engineer. I was the official title was data analyst, but I was working as an engineer the whole time, and all I did was creating pipeline, was setting up platforms, was working with data scientists, and so that's how I would approach this. So the title isn't like, that's like the big thing. Yeah. So let's maybe, I hope this helps. This is how I would approach this. Congrats on the incredible journey this channel has taken. To everyone watching, please subscribe and share the videos. Yep, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you don't know it, it's my name, Andreas Kretz, on YouTube. Yeah, we're going to actually, I'm trying to get more into the YouTube channel. I'm trying to push more content out, like these live streams. Why I'm using this software, whenever I put out a question like this, or a comment, and I answer it. Mira is helping me. Mira, she's working for me, and she's cutting the videos. So I'm going to give her the first of all, I'm going to upload this to YouTube, but also I'm going to give her the complete recording, and she's then going to cut everything into slices. And we're going to, like, for the people who are just want to short videos and not like these long live streams, we're going to like put out more content, because I think that's the way to go. Yeah, so it's like we're trying to step up our game this year. Yeah, it's really been a while. It was just like I was so busy working on the academy, working on the coaching. I feel like somehow I feel like right now is the time to actually that I have a bit more time. I know I need to create courses, but for instance, I have a friend of mine is currently working on a machine learning for data engineers course. Someone else, I'm going to announce that in a few weeks, is working on a Python course, like a introduction to Python course, 0 to like create your first project and work with and read a JSON file and work with that. So that's where we're heading. I'm going to get in more trainers who are creating content for me. So we scale the academy, and that's one of the big things that I have learned last year for every business. And that's also interesting for you if you're working in a business where you're not sure where it's going. The thing is always like with scaling. Scaling is the main thing you have to focus on and figure out, like, how do I scale the business, because it cannot only be you, or cannot only be a few people. If the business only scales like linear, the more people you bring in, or the more work you do, that's not where you want to go. You need a way of like creating more content. The big tech companies are very good in that. They use automation, they use analytics, they use like tools. For me in the academy would be to bring in more trainers, experts who can teach you something, because I'm not the best at everything, and I think that needs to be said. So, and I need to be honest with myself about that. So, yeah, well, that's where everything is heading. Should I put that in my title, in my resume? That was about the other. I don't want to be dishonest. Thanks again for all you do. So don't put something in the title of your resume that isn't there. That's not how you like. That's not what you do. What I would do is like, first of all, I would put data analyst in there. But like for instance, add a description of what tools you have used in that job. When you create a cover letter, write in the cover letter, I have been working in the past 5 years as, for instance, you could write, I have been working as a data engineer, but my job title was data analyst, and I couldn't change that. But I was actually working as a data engineer, what would be classified as a data engineer. I've been using this. I have been doing this, or I've been doing this. And so that's how I would go forward with that. It's an honest thing, and be honest. Like, don't cheat it, because people are going to find out that your job title wasn't engineer, it was analyst. So be straightforward. It was analyst, but I've been doing a lot of engineering, and so I think that's like the way to go. And if I would read that, I would think that's really straight, honest, and that's what you want. This is one of my favorite questions here. I want to go to study data science from a master's degree. Do you have any recommendations for a good university in German? By the way, I'm German. By the way, hi Fritz. I don't have any recommendations for universities. The thing is, like, people are asking me this, but all the time. Oh, let me quickly close something here. People are asking me this all the time, like, what's a good university in Germany to learn data science? I'm so long. I've been out of university since 2010, so over 10 years, and there has been so much happening in that time. I can't like, I can't comment on that. I would look at the universities, I would look at the curriculums, and that's like where what I would make my decision. Maybe something also where there are good companies around, so you get an internship very easily. That's something that I think can be very, very valuable. So that's back to the other question with the associate solution architect certification for AWS. It signifies that you're well grounded in the fundamentals and intermediate knowledge of administrating. Yeah, that's like that. That's what I mean. As like, if you want to use these certifications and this learning to learn something, to get better at something, to you don't have any practical experience like within a job, and then these things are good. These things are good, and I would go for it. If you don't have, if you can't show like a 3-year experience working with AWS or as a solution architect or something, yeah, and then get yourself a junior role. Search for a junior role, junior data engineer role, and drink something quickly. And I think that would be a really good way of actually doing this. Yeah, I already see we're not getting to the free course. There are so many really great questions. It's like, man, you're awesome. Containerization in data engineering, absolutely, Ahmed, absolutely. Like containerization, you're like containers are everywhere. It's like this nowadays. If you deploy tools, you're using Docker, you're using containers. If data scientists deploy their algorithms, they're deploying it as a container, and that's everywhere. People are deploying complete big data clusters as Docker containers. So it's really important and really good. The only thing where I'm always like with containerization, where I'm like this, I'm not sure. For a beginner, Kubernetes is like everywhere. Everybody's talking about Kubernetes and Kubernetes clusters, but do you really need it as a learner, as a beginner? I don't think so. Like, I think work on Docker, try to figure out how containers work, Docker Compose, and so on. So these are the things I would look into, and I think are very important. But yeah. Cost efficient, fault tolerant. What? I think these are 2 comments. Associate. Oh man. Associate examination is intended for individuals to perform a solution architect role and have 1 or more years of hands-on experience. Okay. Okay. These are, well, yeah. It's like they have these are for people who have experience. I don't know if you really need that. Yeah. Is it necessary for data engineers to be sound in DevOps? The thing is, like with DevOps, I think DevOps is important, and I have in the fundamentals course here. Let's go into the fundamentals course quickly. I have in the fundamentals course, how long is that video? I think it's one of the shorter ones. Agile roles, DevOps here. 5 minutes, 5 minutes 40. I have a video there about that, and I think it's important because when you think about you usually have to operate the whole process, not just like development. As an engineer or as a scientist, you most likely work the whole like the whole, how's that called, pipeline, the whole circle from development into like bring it into production, monitoring it, documenting bugs, then creating new specifications and collaboration, and then like coding, and integration and delivery. So that's these things are important. It's like sometimes I have the feeling like people are making a big deal out of DevOps, like it's that you can read 500 hours on something like DevOps, but how is it lived? And it should be lived pragmatically and not like this. Not like this. How it's taught in a book, or how some people teach it. It should be kept pragmatic and should be focused or done in a detail that fits to the size of the team and fits to the company. So it's also a how do you say this, a culture thing, a bit, like the level of how this is lived. ETL developer versus data engineer. A lot of data engineering, or a lot of people who do data engineering, are doing ETL. So I think these roles fit very good together. So it would be like, for me, it's like ETL and data engineer, like not just like extracting data from somewhere. It's also like building a pipeline for that and trying to automate it and adding it to a platform, or implementing it in a platform. So that's, I think it's more a and, not a versus. Maybe or if I'm wrong, let me know. Basically, what do you think is the difference? Is the big difference there? I read here a question. I want to jump from Gabriella. Gabriella, for data engineers, which one is the best skill for beginners? So, and I have that in the not the free course, in the fundamentals course. And I talk about this all the time, as like the two things I think are most important for a data engineer is software development, and especially coding, Python. Nowadays, Python. Last year or 2 years ago, I would have told you, and I have that in the cookbook, Java. But Java is going away slowly, because everybody's using Python. So coding in Python and SQL. So relational database and the SQL language, the structured query language. These are the 2/3 if you make a split of SQL, the actual language, and relational databases, building relational database, understanding how they work. These are the most important things, coding, databases, because you might think like SQL, like why SQL? That isn't data engineering and data science about NoSQL and big data and like these crazy tools. A lot of times you have to work with data that is lying around in somewhere within the company in a SQL database, and a lot of people know it, and it's been here forever. It's very easy to use, and it has a wide variety of use cases. So SQL is very important, and I would go for that, and I think that's the main, that's one of the big things. And once you understand SQL, then you can also make the jump to go higher and go into the into like the NoSQL databases and so on. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. And I'll also have that within the cookbook. I talk all the time. I talk about my data science platform blueprint that I have now. I don't know when I created this. It's 2 or 3 years ago. And that's where you're going to find your databases. Here, when you say, okay, I want to connect my platform to some data, you have external data that is laying around somewhere in the company, or you have some client systems. Either it's a warehouse like a SAP thing or something, or it's a relational database, a SQL database. This stuff is everywhere, and I think that's why it's important. And I talk about this also in the now currently free course. But tomorrow I'm going to take this into the academy again. But you can find this within the cookbook. And I think that's one of the things, the very, very important things that everybody talks about and that you need. SQL coding. These are the things. Here. Quick question. So you're welcome. I love to share my knowledge and try to help people. I think at some level that's necessary, that people try to share as much knowledge as they can. As I said, I'm not the expert at everything, but I try to give my 5 cents, and like if it only helps you and points you in the right direction, it's always already very, very good. So Chabi, what do you think of the Udacity data engineer nano degree or similar courses online? So one thing, man, the Udacity one, what was the Udacity one? The one thing that I have, one beef I have with most of the courses, and I don't want to like shit on the Udacity course and so on or like that. One thing why I created the academy, and I created the guide to become a data engineer, was like I had the feeling, and I still have, that these courses you find on Udacity or Udemy or wherever, they are not general enough. They're too specific. They teach you more like specific tools, but they don't teach you like the big picture. How does everything fit together? They're trying to get you to they're like going through an example where you have this tool and you have this tool and you connect this with this, and then once you have learned these and do the example project, then the nano degree is finished, and then that's it. And yeah, I think that's it. So what I try to do within the academy is like get you, and also I'm doing this within the coaching. It's just like within the coaching, I can talk to people and I can help them directly. The idea is you find out yourself what you need to learn, and how you do that is by researching the actual job postings and the stuff that is around there. So for instance, where do I have this? I think I have this here in the coaching. You can see this as well. Come on, open it up within the schedule here. So the goal basically is you go in there, you set your own goals, and you can do this in the academy as well. You research job postings and basically find out, okay, for data engineer, for platform architect, junior data engineer, what is in these postings, what tools are they using, and then I'm giving you basically within the design phase, and I'm giving you basically everything you need to build the pipelines to understand what it takes to actually build a platform on it and use the data. So once you've done that here, you also you select the data set that you work with that basically fits to the job postings that you found in your area, for instance, and then you can target yourself basically for that for those companies. And I think it's very important to, as I said, it's very important to teach, not like, oh, so you want to you want to learn data engineering? No problem. Here's how that works. You have an API, you have Kafka, you have Spark, you have a SQL database, and you have a BI tool, or you have a NoSQL database and a BI tool, and that's it. Boom, you're done. You learn data engineering. And that's like, yeah, that's not how that works. And so I'm these nano degrees, they cost a lot of money. Like, I think you can become a junior data engineer. If you start, I would go for junior roles, junior platform architect, junior data engineer. You can become this by doing a project on your own, by learning this stuff on your own, showing how do you say this in English? Showing action, showing so basically, going out yourself and showing that you want to improve yourself. So that's I think that's super important. A lot of questions once you have to try. Yeah, data engineers tend to have solid knowledge of networking. It's like, people always think like, oh man, the networking, why do you need that? Why do you need computer networking at all if you're an engineer or a platform architect? Why would you need that? You're working everything with AWS, and like, isn't everything automated? No, it's not. It's not. You need to have an understanding of like, how does the data flow through the network? What are IP addresses? What are MAC addresses? What are VLANs? How do you create? How do you do subnetting? Because, for instance, on AWS, you can do virtual private networks. Then you need to know basically, okay, how do I set these up? What are ports? How do I? What does it mean to open ports? How does a firewall work? That's very beneficial to know. And I think that it's one of the things you should have at least a grasp. I know it's like these things are are computer science basic skills. So that's why I always recommend, like, having, for a data engineer, have a basic computer science skill, not data science, computer science skill. Yeah. Also, one thing I want to mention with that is, like, that's one of the cool things with data engineering. You can become a data engineer without a, like, university degree. You don't need to study data engineering. It's because it's so tightly bound into the actual computer science. And you can do so much with your computer science skills and teach stuff yourself. That's why you don't need this. You don't need a degree for that. Like, I have one of my colleagues. I brought him on board. How long was that ago? 3 years or something. He didn't have, like, a computer science degree. He was very good with databases, and he understood the computer science basics. Like, he had, like, this feeling for Linux, and was like an engineer already. And he basically grew into the junior data engineer role, and he's really, really good. And yeah, absolutely. Like, it's within the data science part, engineering is the easier part to get into, and it's in a lot of demand, and it's going to be in even more demand in the coming years, when people realize that Just analytics doesn't help you. You need automation, you need pipelines, you need platforms to actually serve and handle all the data. Yeah. Stay dedicated. Kate, is that you? Is that you, LinkedIn user? Anonymous here. Stay dedicated. Yep. Shout out to Kate Strachny. She's setting up a new conference. She did one last year. She's going to set up a new conference this year about data science, data visualization, and so on. Data storytelling, everything. iCode says, what do you suggest to a person who is working with SAP Business Warehouse? Hannah, to switch to data engineer, old man, SAP. Oh man. Like, I have been working like a year after university. I was working as an SAP developer. That's rough. So I would, like I say, it's the path is not that super simple. I'm not 100% sure of what basic skills you have and what's your current level. I think for you as well, the first thing I would do is I would try to find out. You could, for instance, find out jobs in your area or somewhere you want to move that have SAP HANA in their engineer descriptions or in their platform architect descriptions, and then look what else is there, and then use the blueprint, use the stuff that I talk about all the time in the academy and so on, to actually learn the stuff you need and apply to these jobs. So that would be a way out of like business SAP and data warehouse, business warehouse within SAP. So many stuff. Let's pick out this here. I'll be as expected for of more than 7 years in database administration and performance engineering. Have done. Oh my God, what is PG in data engineering? Need guidance how to transition into data engineering, data science role. That's the typical thing here. I'll be data engineering, data science role. You need to figure out where do you want to go? Do you want to become an engineer or do you want to become a scientist? Do you want to go into analytics or do you want to go into engineering? It's not like I would really start by that, by deciding that black and white, engineering or science. That's the thing that you need to look into and figure out. And then you can go ahead but with the DB administration, performance engineering, and so on, it sounds a bit more like you're more comfortable in the engineering part. And so if you learn a bit of coding, then you can do a project, start with it, and become a data engineer. So that, yeah. Does it matter which cloud platform? Most companies here use Azure. Then learn Azure. It's very, very simple. Use what people need most, what companies need most. If you want to stay in your area, I think the answer is already here. Use Azure. When you look at generally, you're going to find out that AWS is like 50% of the market. Then you have Azure. Then you have GCP. Then you have the other stuff like nobody uses. But if you have AWS and in your area people are using AWS, it's in like every job opening. then go for not go for Azure, not AWS. Go for Azure. Use it, get into it. If you learned Azure, if you learned Microsoft stuff, then if you know Azure, then you can go AWS. So yeah, take it like that. JP has a very complicated question. Can you suggest how to handle data change in web-hosted datasets consumed for ML as depth of automated capture of change worth, the technical depth, web scraping, or another tool like like so if you're doing scraping, and if you I'm guessing you mean like you're scraping stuff from some web hosted services, does it make sense to scrape old stuff, or all the changes? That totally depends on what you want to do, like the complexity, and like, how did you call that, automated capture of change. Okay. So that's stuff changes that so that you don't only capture the new stuff, you also capture the old stuff that has changed. Again, that's like, that depends on your use case. If you need it, then you might need to have to realize a solution. If like your machine learning stuff, or your, it's not like the machine learning itself, if your business goal doesn't rely on having all the updated data, then yeah, forget about it. Don't worry about it. But like, if you need it, you need it, and then you need to bite the bullet and do it. Matthias, danke für deine Videos, sind sehr hilfreich. Guten Abend, Andreas. Ja, super, cool. Ich freut mich immer zu hören, dass die Videos cool sind und dass die Videos helfen. So a bit of German for everyone who's writing German. Ja, Matthias. Ich hoffe, dass die in Zukunft auch so helfen. Oh man, I'm going to butcher your name, so I'm not going to even try. Sorry. I've been applying for internships, getting all rejects and screening around. Can you suggest something? So I hope you like you ask why you've been rejected, or if you like already have the feeling that you work on it. It's hard to like give a view on that from here, but like I would, if you know like the screenings, and I'm not sure if you also mean like assessments on that. I would like after everything, after every screening, after every assessment round, I would sit down and I would like think about, okay, how did that work out? Which topics I didn't feel like completely comfortable. What do I think I got wrong? So do a like a reflection phase after that, after each and every interview, after screening, and try to find out what it is. And also, you maybe if you I don't know how it's in your country, but try to maybe they're going to tell you like, okay, this is why we didn't hire you for an internship. But that depends on like the country you're in. It's not like some countries you will not get information, because that opens to like liability. Opens the company to getting sued. That's everything I can get a tip. Like yesterday, I was no 2 days ago. I was talking to one of my coaching students. She was she had an assessment out of the blue, like here, hi, we saw you. You're a data scientist and you're working on engineering, and you're also your profile fits very good to our job. Can you send us your resumes? So she did, and then they said, okay, here. Apply to let's do a round of like an assessment round on a platform like where you have like multiple choice questions and need to be show a bit of coding. And so she said, oh, I'm not really feeling that I'm prepared for it, that I'm ready. So I said, let take it as a learning exercise. Do your best, but like make a screenshot of every question and like try to take as much as you can from it and get better. And so that's my advice in this department. So it's not like most of the time you just didn't fit to the requirements. It's not most of the time it's not about you. It wasn't a perfect fit. HR asks, what sort of problems does a data engineer solve, or what does a day look like for a data engineer? So basically, the introduction to data engineering, I suggest you quickly go to. No, Siri, I don't need any help. You quickly go to the free course. If it's now no longer free, check out that in the academy. It's like the academy is $24 a month, $25 a month. You can like cancel every month. Just use it as long as you need. Check out that. I have like everything. I didn't I have here within that course, within that over 1 hour course, I talk about like how I got into data engineering, an overview of jobs within the data science realm. I talk about who data engineers are and what they do, who they do it for, and like how to learn data engineering, how can we or I help on team data science within the academy. So that's like I spend like an hour and 15 minutes on everything on this. So check that out. This is going to help you immensely. It would actually be really cool to do like a day of a data engineer. That would be a cool video. I'm not sure how to do it because you would need to film it within the company or something. So that's not that cool. Oh, here, Ahmed, very interesting about the Udacity. I look forward to the Udacity data engineering for so long, and I was so disappointed when I had an opportunity to be enrolled. Luckily, it was a full scholarship. Agree with you 100% of this. Okay, very very interesting, Ahmed. Let me know. So write in the comment what exactly or like 1-2 things that you were disappointed with. That would be very interesting to actually get some feedback, some more feedback on that. Like, what were your thoughts on that? On a scale, on a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate Spark, considering frameworks are changing rapidly? It's like, so there's still a hype around Spark. That I think we don't need to lie to ourselves. There's still a hype around Spark. If it depends a lot how to use it. Spark is really, really good at parallel processing, like running streaming pipelines, like aggregating data and so on. So Spark is really, really strong there, and it's like a 10 there, 8, 9, 10. It's very good there. I really love using it. It's it's cool that it's fairly easy to use once you get the hang of it. The other thing, like if you're on a platform that has, or if you're on a Hadoop platform, for instance, Spark is very strong because it can, or if you're running it with S3, for instance, it's very strong if you have like a Hive data warehouse in front of it and use Spark as the processing framework for Hive, and use it with external tables where the data lies in HDFS or lies in S3. So that stuff is very, very strong. I know you can do a lot with HDFS, Spark, and Hive for like having a huge data lake and processing the data indirectly. Like you don't see that Spark runs in the background. So that's really a really strong thing of Spark, and that's why people love Spark. Yeah, so I generally I'm a Spark fan. Spark can solve a lot of problems. It's like, yeah, I'm a huge fan. So I would rate it like 8, but it's not like that you can use it for everything. There are certain use cases for Spark. There are certain benefits within a project, but it's like sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't fit. That's like alone when you think of budget and so on. You need to run a cluster for that. So of course, having a lambda function and running lambdas is a lot cheaper. In the beginning, it might get a lot more expensive, and if you want to do machine learning on it with TensorFlow and so on, then Spark can be really, 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 really good. So I would rate it as like an 8. 8 out, let's say 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. And very widely used. Oh, it made a jump here. I'm trying to. Ankit says here. Would coaching help if one wants to target junior data engineer roles in companies like Amazon or Microsoft? Of course. Like, basically, that's what the goal of the coaching is, to help you, get a job quickly and get you ready quickly. And my biggest thing, and I'm very, very convinced, and I see that it works, is that you do a project and that you use the project as a reference. That works for I have data scientists within the coaching who are using it especially for like leveling up their skills, because they see that a lot of companies for data scientists also need engineering, and that you have some knowledge for that. But like also for the main the main target area is like engineers, but you don't need to, or it's not like I cannot give a job guarantee. Like I cannot do wonders, and sometimes it's a step. Like there's no guarantee that you like get in immediately. Sometimes you have to take a job with a smaller company and then get a job there at one of the bigger companies. Like learn, and they sometimes have very, very high standards. As like I had another student who wanted to get into Google. I haven't talked to him. He lacks within the documentation part. I hope he gets into Google, but it's not like I wouldn't like fix in onto those big companies. Of course, it's possible, but there are so many cool or good companies out there where you can, as a junior, role, learn and grow, and then like take the big ones on again at the next step. So that's, yeah. But the main goal for me is for everyone who joins, that they that to get them ready, to make their profile ready, so that they get a job, and that they find a job in data engineering, or as a platform architect. So that's like the main thing why I do all this. Yeah. So yeah. And again, Ankit, junior roles is the one to go. Sometimes people go for, or aim for the big roles, aim for like the senior data engineer or team lead, and most likely you will not get in there. Yeah, and I think I have a video within the academy also where I talk about that. How deep do you need to know operating systems for data engineering? So one of the things is like you need to know a Linux, or it should be fairly handy in Linux. You don't need to like know everything, but I think it would be good to know a bit generally how Linux works. It would be good to um, so you can work with Linux. You can go into the command line. You know how to edit files within the command line, like with VI. That you know how cron works, how cron jobs work. That stuff is like, yeah. We need to finish up here. I have like in 6 hours, 6 hours and 20 minutes. I have the next coaching round. So let me quickly main ones to focus on. I already talked about that. You can also find that in the fundamentals course on my site, in the academy. Any project ideas related to data engineering with Alteryx, Snowflake, Linux? That's a different. That's a very interesting topic. I think stuff is heading into these directions. I'm going to write that down. I need to talk about, or Mohammed, if you see me in the next stream, if you're here, ask me that again. I need to talk a bit about that. I need to wrap it up here. I've been getting a lot of rejections too, said Manuel. It always, like, Manuel, where do you get the rejections? Are you getting them when before interviews, or getting them after interviews? Like, always think of like, how does your profile fit to the profile of the job that is there, and think about, like, most of the time when you analyze a job, when you analyze an applicant, you think about, okay, I have this job here where these skills are needed. This person, how does this person fit to this job? How long does it take for this person to be up to speed, to be on like peak productivity? And look at it like that. So very often, like, if you're on a junior data engineer level and you apply to a senior or a data engineer role, it can happen that you're not getting the job, because when you look at it, from when somebody looks at your application, and this person looks at what is needed for the job, then they find out that, like, okay, this person, it takes us like 6 months, 7, 8 months to actually get this person to peak productivity, that we don't need to do any training anymore. And then there are a lot of other people who are just taking, like, who are like, the guesstimate is like 4 months, 3 months, and then you're out. Like that's always like, yeah. Mohammed, in the Telegram, ping you there. Yep, ping me on Telegram. I have a Telegram group. Telegram, search for, I think it's Team Data Science. Telegram/Team Data Science. You can always reach me there, or you can reach me directly on Telegram, Andreas Kretz. It's just my name. I'm just using my names everywhere. Okay. So again, I was bringing the introduction to data engineering course in there all the time, but check it out. Check it out. It's there for tomorrow morning in 6 hours when I get up. I'm going to do the coaching, and at like 7 or 8 before I go for my daily walk. I started Nordic walking in like September or October. I'm taking like a 4-mile walk every day. Before that, I'm going to I'm going to remove it as from the free course, and I'm going to bring it back into the academy. So check it out if you want right now. And if not, it's going to be always in the academy. The academy right now, 20 hours of content. It's $24.97. If you buy the month directly, I can give you if you buy the year annual subscription, I can create for you a invoice with like your address, and if you're paid through your company, the company's address, and then you can give it to the company and you can get your money back. Yeah, the coaching is going to start in 10 days. Like no, it's only 8 days. Friday in a week, we're going to start with the coaching. You can learn more about the coaching and what people said about the coaching on the website as well. January 22nd, February 19th, March 19th. I'm going to take 6 people all the time. One is already gone for this. So I have for January I have 5 open slots. Usually they're gone. Like I book them out. The thing is, I don't want to like take 10 people and I can never like help 10 people. That's always like bad. I don't want to do that. I'm in the great position where I can like say, okay, I'll limit it, and I rather help 6 people good than 10 people bad or half-assed. So that's my thing. Let me know in the comments on the YouTube channel or on LinkedIn. Let me know how you felt like this stream was going and how you like that, because I'm going to put this on the podcast as well. I'm going to bring the podcast more back, and I have the feeling like I tried to slow down. I tried to take this up a bit more like laid back and not like and hectic and so on. Let me know in the comments how you like that, if we do this more often. Otherwise, I'm trying to come back here on, I think on Friday. Tomorrow will be very hard. As I said, I have coaching at 10 in the evening, and at 6 in the morning, and then I'm working all day. So I'm not sure if I can make it tomorrow. Otherwise, just if you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell, that hopefully you get notified when I come live again. And now I already did 1 hour and 15 minutes. I actually wanted to do like only a 30-minute stream. So it's like always. Thanks for all your awesome questions. Really, it was really, really fun. And it's like I need to do this more often. And I'm trying to make a habit out of it to come on more, and also talk a bit like the background of like my work, the progress on Team Data Science. Because like the business side is also, I think it's also very interesting. Okay, so I need to go to bed. It's like almost midnight. Have a great one. See ya, and I need to get up in 5 hours.